What's up, everybody? I am Ethan with Fight Me on This,
I'm Jill at CoachJill.April.
and we are back with Shifting the Lens podcast, episode I Don't Care. This is so much fun, and here we be.
Even I've lost track.
Hi, everyone.
Formal announcement, because I'm looking at it on our TV right now. We're on YouTube.
We are on YouTube. We are live finally. If you were watching, like you're supposed to be watching this last episode, we said we were going to do it. It doesn't matter how long it took. We got it done. And by we, I mean she. We, because I had to remind her.
Me, because I
once,
did the thing.
10 to 1. There's a 1 in front of the number how many times?
I've said it on the last episode on purpose, because then I've now externally...
Did it work? No, because that episode didn't come out and nobody got to ask us the question about it. But here we be. We are live on YouTube. You can find us at Shifting the Lens everywhere you look. It's purple. Yeah. That's how you know it's us. It's really loudly purple. So if you're looking and questioning, there's like another one that's a zoologist thing on YouTube, but like fuck them, we'll leave it. Or anyway, it's not us. Yeah. We don't do animals. Well, I'm an animal. You're kind of an animal. We're primal, but not like that.
At Shifting the Lens podcast everywhere.
Done.
What's your hard?
Oh, yes. Hards. I love this time of day. I don't. Hards is this time of year for me. Some of you seen some of my posts. Some of you know. October is my birth month early on. But this time of year is exhausting. CPTSD is a wild bitch, and it sucks the joy out of life a lot of times. When birthdays come up, they're supposed to be happy, and they celebrate, and it's this recollection of all the great. But it isn't great in my story. Every piece of my existence is muddied and dirtied and tarnished by trauma. Egregious, disgusting trauma. And that lens that I have to look through permanently is a reason for this podcast. How I get to see the world now. How I choose to see the world. How I have to see the world. It comes from this version of hard, because everything goes through the lens. It muddies celebrating my life with my people. It muddies my life itself. It makes it hard to want to live at all. Being born into a world that was immediately dark and toxic is such a fucking weird thing to try to navigate through life. I'm 34 years old this month, and I have spent 3 fucking decades of my life as an abuse victim, an abuse survivor. Horrific. And like these times a year, these dates that come up are so fucking hard. There's people that celebrated me, that have been inside of me as a kid. There's people that texted me to tell me what a great human I am and how proud they are of me. As if they had a say in the way I turned out. So that's what's hard for me this episode, this time of year. And I want to end this hard with saying, if you know somebody who struggles with dates and times of year and these blips that come along that remind us of all of the ugly that has been our experience, this is it. There's no reasoning with it. There's no talking it away. It doesn't go away. There's just sitting. We're in a podcast, and Jill is giving me every piece of safe space that I need to keep talking without losing it. This is often what it looks like. So if that's you today and you're supporting somebody or need the support, just sit. The hard is already hard. Just sit. How much you love? What is your heart?
Yeah, a lot happened in the last couple weeks. I would say my heart, to an extent, ties in with yours. But in the sense of like, I feel like I talked about this a little bit. I don't remember what episode that was, about when I don't sleep well. But there was a few days strung together that I really didn't sleep well. And yeah, if you know me, I love to sleep. So when I don't sleep, it gets hard to support my people the way I normally do. And I don't find it hard day to day, but you really realize how much not sleeping takes a toll, as you would know.
And just how much energy you have to use to sit with somebody. Like, if I can interrupt, it's why it doesn't take a lot to hold space for people, because it takes a lot to be in the space with people. What Jill's referring to in this moment for her is, at least from my side, is when I know she's tired and not sleeping, especially if I'm there and because of me, and I know that the way she's gonna meet me in support is gonna look different. It doesn't mean I don't get support. It means that I have to ask more questions. And it's always, are you okay?
Yeah, and I think on my end, it's just hard to like know I don't have the same bandwidth I usually do. So it takes a lot more intentional, like, you're fine, we're fine, like, to myself, of being like, we're good, just because my like bandwidth for filtering, not even you like in conflict with another partner too, just like reminding myself that everyone's fine. My threshold for like filtering what is an actual problem and what is the problem is harder, so then just everything's a problem. So I think that was tricky to navigate, like, conflict in a time where I'm not sleeping well and I know you're not doing so hot, and it's just like keeping everybody here, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I guess what I mean by like keep everyone here is like
I want to die in those
like
moments.
physically keep Ethan here, mentally keep me here, because my triggers are just like, I'm out, see ya, bye, have a nice life. And not necessarily with you, but like,
What do you mean by that?
yeah, I've noticed over the last few years, like when it's things I've dealt with before and things that I know like I'm not dealing with again, my whole being, when some comes up and triggers that, is just like, see ya, I'm gone. And then there's no chance of it happening again because I'm out. So reminding myself that like, Nicola is not the person that made this trigger a thing, and reminding myself that like, you're not mad at me, and like giving myself those reminders when I'm already low energy is more important, because day to day I can just be like, this ain't about me, I'm good. But when I'm here, I'm like, okay, everyone's fine, we're fine. So yeah, it was just like interesting to see how much little sleep impacts me and my ability to be the person I am.
Yeah. I think it's one of Jill's coolest traits is her ability to hold space freely when she chooses to, and I think that that's been one of the biggest binders in our relationship when we both don't have bad days, when we're both low energy or tired, is the reassurance that we know in here we're running through every option we can. We're trying to make sure that the space stays safe, that the space stays whole and intact, no matter how ugly it is. Like, I know Jill's doing that math the same way she knows I'm doing that math. Even when she's asking me, like, what can I do? How can I do this? And I'm just sitting, I can't talk half the time. I'm just sitting, shaking my head. And it's not because, no, I don't want help. It's because I don't know in the moment. And there's so much going on in my brain that I'm just trying to make sure I know she's my friend, that she's my safety, that the thing in the moment isn't a thing for me to run to and get consumed and lost in. And I don't have to do that shit anymore. And in those moments, even when we're both in it, like the constant understanding of my partner and my being is that she's always doing the work in her head. She's always doing the math to make this the safe. Like no matter what, no matter how much I think she's attacking me in the moment, if I feel an attack, whichever version of me feels the attack, there's always a piece of me that knows that Jill is on my team. Jill is on our team. And it's not always a verbal reassurance that we get. It's sitting in the uncomfy, in tears with no answers, just knowing that it sucks and it's okay that it sucks because she's in the suck with me and I'm in the suck with her, with Brian, Nicola, Ness, Emily, all of our people. It's not just us in here while we're navigating this shit. We're still navigating it with our other people, with our other humans, our partners, our friends, our colleagues. We are the same people for everybody. Which is what makes it so much more important for us to stay in that space with each other. To always have that space for each other.
Yeah, and I think it's also like important to let your people know that whether you live with them or not, like in those moments, it's important for me to tell you guys that like I'm not sleeping. So if I'm like off for some reason, there's a reason. Because I think it gets hard when you're navigating whatever it may be and also guessing why your person isn't quite the regular person.
For those of you that know trauma the way we do, the question is it me? Is the hardest thing to navigate. Yeah. And when your person's not doing the person and they're in their own shit, those social cues, those body language cues, those direct conversations can be so dripping with triggered monotone that it's hard to see the difference sometimes. So
yeah. And sometimes it is as simple as like, listen, I got maybe 2 hours of sleep last night. I'm doing the best I can.
What's up with you? Why are you so edgy? I don't want to tell you. I had a flashback last night. I hate it. And right there, like, there's nothing that she does. It just check. And now we're navigating a day through Ethan's had a flashback, or we're navigating a day through Jill has had no sleep, or we're navigating a day through Ethan freaking rolled over 4,000 times, but his body got rest, but his brain didn't, or Jill's still suffering the mad effects of an argument with whoever, her family, her friend, or whatever the fuck. It's setting the tone so we don't have to guess it. That's why I send voice notes. Then nobody can guess my tone when I'm texting. Fuck.
What is your joy from
my joy, even amidst all of this shit, is getting away from my birthday. It was one of the hardest things to do. It's hard to set things up for me with people I love and to have people not show up, to people change plans last minute, to people, all of these things. So you're allowed to have lives, but like for fuck's sakes, this is why I don't do birthday. I don't.
Also, like, interject
before I get paid on my own rent.
Under promise, over deliver. Nicola and I talked about this. Like, I will never understand why people will be like, yeah, I'll for sure be there. Oh, I'll definitely come. If you don't mean that, go the other way and be like, don't think I can make it.
But I'm going to do my best.
I'll let you know if anything changes. Under promise, over deliver. Because for anybody, it's hard.
For most people, it's hard.
Yeah. When people promise and then don't show up. But like, stop promising if you don't mean it.
But like, let's back up. Like, I'm not asking people to walk around like you're walking on glass and eggshells around people. I want you to treat people like people.
Yeah, and just like, yeah.
Like I would talk about expectations in this life a lot, especially with new connections and people coming in and out and friends and who wants to be a friend, who wants to be in the house and all blah blah. But like this expectation, like I set this started with going to a Seahawks game because I've never been and I've always wanted to go and it was going to be a really cool thing. And then life happened and the job went out and a career shift and and it pivoted and I don't like birthdays. As it is. So, someone that loves birthdays is my anchor partner, one of them, and loves celebrating her people. And so meeting in the middle of, okay, how do we celebrate, to going away, to being like, I'm going to invite my closest people. I'm going to put us all in one house and we're going to be in the mountains where Ethan loves to be and is his most genuine, calm, safe self and just get to be. And I'm going to bring my favorite humans to do it with. And, some people right away were like, fuck, yeah. I've never had somebody do that, by the way. Shout out to my partner, Riley. I'm going to cry. Because when they said, yeah, I was like, sick. But, like, I also know people. And life happens. And then they were like, I paid. Sent. Jill. Like, it was 7 minutes between here's the invite and here's the payment.
And they were like that for everything for your birthday.
Yeah, Jill kind of took over coordinating because it was overwhelming me. I found the house and I picked a great one. It was a good time. But like to coordinate with people on what it was going to look like was all Jill. And I could hear it in the way they were going back because they are now talking and texting and going back and forth. And just Riley's ability to just, I don't know what to say, to meet me in that space, to meet me there, to be. Mm-hmm. to hit that out of the park so effortlessly. They wanted to be there with us, bring one of her people who was so much fun to me. Katana is my new best friend. I've met a spirit animal in that person. But then, a couple of people were like, fuck yes, I'm in. People that really are really important to me.
Yeah, and I think people underestimate their importance to other people in general, and that's a tie to like the
that's a tie to the attachment
promise and the like. You don't realize how important that I'll be there is to somebody.
Yeah, like when one of my best friends was like, I'm coming, like I didn't expect him to be able to, because he's so busy and he's so dedicated and he grinds, and it's that time of year for him when he's got to grind. So when he was like, yeah, I'm in, at least for a little bit. It was a 7-day trip, 6-day trip. Their train schedule's fucked up. He was gonna be there for a little bit. And then the week before wasn't. And like you can see it on my face, and this is as real as I can be with this. It devastated me. Like it devastates me now. It devastates me because they said that they didn't want to let their people at the train down. Their place of work, which is great. I love that about my people. Have a life. So they did the thing I love them for the most and took it upon themselves to do it. But then they phrased it that they didn't want to let somebody else down. It would be cool to be as important as people you may never see again. It may be cool to be as important as your last paycheck. It may be cool to be as important as not telling me you're coming. Because I would prefer that. I have attachment and abandonment issues. We all know this. And I navigate it all the time. And I've been really great at doing this thing. But as I said in the last episode, I am not poly because of what happened to me. Like I'm literally this way because of how I'm wired and how I experience this life and get to love people in this life. So no matter what, the level of importance in my life is because I choose to do some life with you. It doesn't mean our friendship's over. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means that I have to heal a wound in myself that I shouldn't have to. I love this man, but I noticed everybody that didn't come. For whatever reason. Doesn't matter what the reason is. I noticed. And I'm saying this out loud because the first counter I got was, well, what about the other people there? They're amazing. And I love them all. I love Riley. I love Katana, Jill, Nicola, like Brian. Like, I love every single one of them. I also love Sean. I love everybody that wasn't there, that couldn't be there. I love the people that messaged me saying they couldn't be there and wish they could, and we'll get you next time. I love the people that no-showed me day of. Because that's what love is. It doesn't just end like that. It's just interesting that the price of loving people like that is this feeling. The price of trauma and childhood trauma is this feeling. I had so much fucking fun in the mountains that it was both my hardest fucking week of the year and the greatest week of the year. Hards and joys aren't mutually exclusive. But my joy, mired by hard, was my birth week in the mountains.
Yeah, my joy was your birthday. I know. It's hard for you. I know. I do balancing act of like, don't overdo it. But like, if you don't know, I did post about it on the podcast stories, but if you don't know, I was standing in Party City and saw a pineapple pinata, and I was like, what do I do with this? Like, I knew I needed it, but I didn't know what to do with it. And then I texted Brian and I said, hear me out. And then I texted Riley and I said, what do you think of this? And both of them were like, great idea. So I bought a pinata and filled it with weed and candy and money. And I hung it in the garage. Well, Riley hung it in the garage because I'm not tall enough to do that. And I was like, Ethan's going to walk into the garage and be like, why the fuck did this bitch buy me a pinata?
I didn't. I've never had a pinata for my birthday. So, but I didn't know what to do with it at first. I'm a big boy. It's going to explode. Not in a fun, like I'm going to disintegrate this bitch.
Which I knew would happen. Like,
That's not what happened. I disintegrated the first paddle.
I'm like, this pinata doesn't stand a chance, but that's fine. But I knew it would be a moment of like, that's pinata. Why a pinata? What's in the pinata? So I think,
and I was excited for candy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you watch the video, like I'm looking at this thing like this is full of candy, and I'm cool with that. My people brought me a thing to beat, and then it's gonna explode with candy.
And then my favorite part was like, you break it in half after Brian baseball pitches it to you.
First of all, I broke the rope. That's not my fault. On the first swing. And so Brian pitched it and I hit a home run.
But it took him a couple of minutes to process what was in the pinata. And then once you clocked that there was weed in it.
You can hear me clock that there's weed in it.
Yeah.
And then I was immediately humbled and in the moment of processing a million emotions because, when your people know you, small shit like that is wild.
And that's why I love birthdays because, like, it's not hard to know your people. But anywho, then we also got Ethan an ice cream cake. Nicola went and got it. And I got a cookie cake made, which is exactly what it sounds like.
For breakfast.
Yeah, which is exactly what it sounds like. It was like a 10-inch chocolate chip cookie with icing.
Ethan doesn't like cake, but ice cream cake always wins.
So we got ice cream cake and a cookie cake, and then I put candles in them. And just like watching him be like, oh, maybe birthdays don't fully suck was a cool moment.
Yeah. No, it was a unique and interesting year for sure. But just those small moments. I remember the realization of the weed in the pinata was like, it literally made me cry because I was like, all of these people were in on this thing.
Yeah.
Like, not just Jill. She crushes it all the time.
But I just came up with the idea. It was the people being like, let's do it. That made it what it was.
Yeah. Being a part of it, buying into it, and then being there for when I got into it was just so cool. It was the confirmation that, like, this is the life. This is exactly where I was supposed to be in the midst of the hardest. Like, when I say you wake up on your birthday morning, you wake up on October 1st, and your birthday is 5 days away, and you don't want to make it. Like, I don't want to deal this year, guys. I don't want to go through the memories of birthday sex with a parent. I don't want to go through that shit. To walk out to a fucking pinata. And all of your people looking at you like, this is going to be great, and you don't know it. To seeing it explode, to getting to experience that, as I never got to experience as a kid, which is cool. To just everybody watching me, like, be like, there's weed in this pinata, guys. How cool. To be known by everybody in that room. And then for the cake was just one of those, like, I got to gather around in a place that I wanted to be, with people that I wanted to be with. And those people chose to love me in that moment, in those moments, in the moments before and in the moments after. These people showed up and, chose to love me and choose to love me every day. And around a time of year where you're reminded that the love that you were supposed to get is not what it should have been, to get that kind of love now is a wild thing. Just is.
Yeah. The next morning, you were sitting on the couch eating your ice cream. And I was on one side of you, and Riley was on the other. And maybe that was next morning. I don't know. But there was a moment where you were like, "Can we do this again next year? Because if this is how birthdays are, I might learn to like them." And Nicola looked at me, and I was like, "I'm not crying. You're crying." Just because,
I meant that. Riley looked over at me and was like, "Can we do this next year? Like, can we? Like, everybody wanted to do this again next year. Like, how cool? How cool."
Yeah, it was a neat week. Mm-hmm. I know birthdays are hard, and they're hard for lots of people for lots of reasons, but I promise you, when you find your people, they don't suck.
These dates and days, birthdays, other people's birthdays, these places in life where celebration should be of the being you are. It doesn't just have to be birthday. Like, I think about some of the shit that I've got to do in the last year with people surrounding me that wanted to see it happen. Like, there's no price tag on that shit. On people doing what they're supposed to do in those moments and celebrating you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And I think that's a big piece, and always has been for me with other people's birthdays, is like, take yourself out of somebody else's birthday. Take yourself out of somebody else's celebration. Like, it doesn't actually matter what I want for your birthday. It doesn't matter what I think a birthday should look like. Like, it's not hard to make people feel seen and appreciated. You just have to stop putting yourself in the equation. I love the mountains and all the things we did, but like, yeah, birthdays are for the other person. Yeah. I will say this, that it was one of those moments in the week too where it's just like, yeah, it does take a village. And I don't mean that like in a way of, well, I kind of do. Like, it takes a village in terms of supporting your humans, but it also, like, me being able to make your birthday what it was a lot easier because I wasn't the only one doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool on my side to have people that were just like...
But that, like, even goes back to your birthday and surprising you with Nicola. Like, it's not hard when you know your people, but like, it takes everybody. If I had tried to hide that from Jill on my own, this would have been exhausting. But it was me and Nicola working together to do something for Jill. Like, it took both of us doing all of this shit. It took me faking that I wasn't trying to be on my phone and shit, so Jill wouldn't know, and putting on a goddamn act for 6 hours on a golf course. Like, it's all these things coming together for your people.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing, but that is what life is supposed to be.
Yeah, and it was cool to have people like just run with it with me. Like, there wasn't any like, are you sure? And it was cool to feel the trust people have in me. Like, Riley and I are just getting to know each other, just getting to actually spend time together. But even Riley was like, yeah, cool. I'll send you money for whatever you need. And it was just like having that people behind me. Even like Nicola being like, hey, what do you need me to do? Like, she disappeared to Invermere to go get the ice cream cake. And just like Brian hid things for me and brought things for me, and just like having people that were like, cool, what do you need to make this happen?
Yeah, it really was crazy. Like, this is an extreme example, but like, all of these working pieces had to come together for a trip away, and that will always happen for any trip away. But just like the amount of prep work, even that stuff that I was aware of happening, like, there was so much prep from everybody that was going. And it was really just again, it takes a village, It takes finding your tribe and trusting them. It takes a lot of this community building connection. And if you take nothing from what we talk about, it's connect with your people.
And if
like
you
really connect with them.
Yeah, and if you sit there frustrated by your birthdays or big events for you or whatever, it's probably because you haven't found your people.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's not even a shot. That's a real statement, and she lives on that side of that sentence, and I live on this side. Like you, when you have even one person that's team you, it's such a different lens to look through. That piece that now isn't just your lens. It comes from the person supporting you. That little shard right across here is enough to show you that there's another life out there for you. There's another thing. There's a better sight line out there. But it starts right here with
yeah.
who you bring around you, with who helps you shift your lens, with who helps you craft that kaleidoscope.
Mhm. And those moments of like, oh shit, it's not supposed to be hard. I had that moment with Nicola and you for my birthday of like, I had friends that lived in the same city as me that couldn't even show up to a plan. Nicola drove 9 hours. Like, it's not hard unless people make it hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah. I think that's a solid place for us to stop. It's community, it's find your tribe. It's navigating this life with your people, so it doesn't always feel like hell.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many cool parts. Even like Nola got to come.
Oh yeah, that even I like. I'm, you know me. I'm like, this is the only dog, but holy crap! When we're outside in the mountains, we're the same person.
She's a much more tolerable dog when she can
When
just
my Tism
roam.
like takes me into the bush, and then I hear her yelp because she's the only one that came with me.
Yeah.
Where'd you going? I don't know, but also those are thorns and a broken tree and a log, and she like turned and got her leg stuck. I'm like, I only have 2 limbs to worry about. I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah, and I have so many pictures of you two walking on the mountain together because she was just like in Ethan's hip pocket. Like, Kate, where are we going? I'm coming with you. And we started the hike by like going fairly straight up, and I took Nola off her leash, and we were just like, "Okay, go!" And she just like looked at all of us and like mountain goated up the mountain. So she, yeah, had a time in the mountain. She's much less annoying when she can just like
Mm-hmm.
roam and adventure. And I miss the luxury of having a backyard, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't miss picking up days
All
worth of
that dog
dog poop.
shit. Yeah.
But even having like Nicola there to watch Nola when I needed her to, or like
Mm-hmm.
Riley and Katana love dogs. So
Mm-hmm.
just knowing that something as simple as like my dog is accounted for and
And
looked
enjoyed.
after,
And just
and it's
enjoyed.
not just my
Yeah.
responsibility, was
Yeah.
cool too.
Yeah. Just bringing people together and doing this life in the best way we know how. Speaking of bringing people together, I don't know if you have seen this shirt yet, but like, I loves it. It is one of my favorite shirts that I have from my good friends over at Happy House Apparel. If you don't know, if you use code FIGHTME, you get 10% off your purchase. And if you follow the link that I'll post, you can just shop and it'll auto discount you. Right now, it's 3 shirts for the price of 2. Yeah, hard yes. I'd
Oh,
get up and show the back. Should I get up and show the back?
probably.
Can I get up and show the back?
Yeah, you got
Can I
room. You're
turn?
gonna have to like kneel.
I'm gonna have to kneel. Take a little half kneel. Ugh. Wait, hold on. Wait, we'll get it.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, perfect. Look at this. I loved it. This is probably my favorite one that I have. I haven't always tired.
I
Death to
gotta
all you sinners, which is so funny to me. But yeah, this is the one. Happy House Apparel. Love them.
I gotta order the one. There's one that has a witch on it.
There's if you don't like, you got to go look. Go check out Happy House. Use code Fight Me, capital F, capital M, no space, and check them out. I adore them. They have such and like workout clothes. First of all, these shirts I work out in, and I never work out in t-shirts. Love them. I've cut the arms off a couple because. Oh hey, that's a bite bruise. Anyway, I lost my armed shirt off because they are comfortable to work out in.
Who bit you?
I actually don't know. There was multiple people in the house. We're weird. Okay, fuck off. Happy House Apparel.
If you also would like to be health, I almost drank them all. So that way you know they don't taste like dirt. If you didn't know, now you know. I've worked with TC Nutrition for a quick minute.
Nope. Not doing it on live camera.
Live?
Nope.
Please.
Oh, fuck. I don't want to.
He's being dramatic. They're actually fine. Like greens.
Greens don't taste good up front. So
Greens are greens. These are the best tasting ones you'll find.
You listen. You need juice. You got to put that in juice.
You can,
don't not put that in juice. What the fuck?
You can cut it with. I used to cut mine with pineapple juice till I
can see
was
why.
Allergic to them.
Because like right away, what did you not cut that with anything?
No,
because right away I get pineapple.
These are the citrus ones. So
there you go.
These are the citrus twist, so they taste like citrus. Very polarizing. If you don't like citrus, don't drink them. My favorite when these came out is when I first started talking about them. People got them, and then they're like, they taste like citrus. I'm like, what did you think they were going to taste like? So if you don't like grapefruit, lemon, lime, don't buy these ones, but there's a million flavors. My code Coach Jill saves you 10% on their website and also works on Amazon. So if you're a little nervy to commit, order from Amazon. Then you can just send it back. Easy
Love it.
Peasy.
But you won't because they're all good products.
Yeah, greens, protein, creatine, all your goodies. Code Coach Jill. The links are in my bio everywhere, or you can just put Coach Jill in when you check out.
I have literally enjoyed all of this, except for that. That was my least favorite part about this whole thing.
But he consumes a lot of their protein.
So I do. Like, holy crap. I go through their protein a lot. As a 300 gram a day protein human, eating that much is tough, but I will fully back TC's quality by saying it tastes great in any version of the concoction you can make. We
mixes into things.
Yeah.
Smoothies,
muffins,
itself.
baking, all of the fun. You don't really notice it. It doesn't have that grainy feel. It's a great and solid protein. So,
and it's a low lactose whey protein.
Which also doesn't fuck my stomach to the ends of holy hell.
So if you're somebody who's like, I can't do whey,
you might have a shot. Like, we're not going to guarantee you and say it's not going to make you upset, but it for sure, for someone who has trauma stomach, it doesn't fuck me up, and I can drink multiple shakes in a day without getting sick.
Even my friend and her girlfriend who like poop their pants if they consume dairy.
If they smell dairy, it's fucking wild.
Can consume TC's protein.
So there's a great TC plug. Check out TC and Jill's code. Check out Happy House and my code. Check out Shifting the Lens podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you can stream it. I have been Ethan with Fight Me on this.
I'm Jill at CoachJill.April.
And this has been fucking wonderful. We love you guys. Have a great fucking rest of your week.
Catch you next time.